This is KUGAN CASSIUS for from London. We're at the SECC arena here in Glasgow. With me, I've got manager to Ray Beltran, Steve FEDER. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Disappointing night for the Beltran camp in general. Like I said, the common consensus seems to be rather that Ray Beltran won that fight over Ricky Burns, which is, we spoke to you earlier on, that is obviously what Team Beltran thinks. So just tell me about your disappointment right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a tough night. It's a tough night for the team, and I think in the long run, it's a tough night for boxing. You know, I think this is one of those nights that just continues to tarnish the sport. But you know, you can't point fingers at anyone. You know, I'm not going to try to break it down and say why this happened. I just think ultimately, yes, I think we won the fight. I had it. If at the best would be 115, 113. And then I would have lived with a point spread, you know. I thought we had 10, 11. I think we gave back 12 in my mind, or at least we didn't close it the way I felt we could have. But other than that, I thought Ray did everything, including, you know, the knockdown, which I felt was kind of our security blanket going forward, you know, going into the later rounds, you know.
Would you say that you were robbed in this fight? Is that a term that you would use?
Well, I mean, I think the night deserves something. We got to come up with something better than that. We keep using that same term over and over again. You know, we got
robbery. It was a robbery.
It's a robbery. You know, it's like, so maybe we, as you know, maybe we could get together with all you intelligent people and try to come up with something that makes a little more, you know.
Where we live, we rob banks, but you know, we don't rob banks. But that's what people do. They rob banks.
Like if the thing is like that, I can live with. Like, you know, if you guys can say, hey, let's go rob a bank together, you know, I'd say that's a robbery. Tonight is like a tragedy. You know, no, it's a travesty, not a robbery. You know, again, it's not just about tonight. It's why nights like this happen that we have to look at. You know, on this night, the people that paid the price, you know, the people that got robbed, was not just Ray Beltran. I mean, I think if we keep thinking, like, as the manager, obviously, look, my fighter got robbed. I mean, my fighter, you know, won the fight, didn't get the belt. It's a massive. This is not some, you know, it's not some club fight, you know, around the corner. This is the world title, you know. So there's a massive, massive difference in this guy's life, you know, come tomorrow morning if he went home with the belt. But the real robbery, you know, if you want to use that word, the robbery is the fans got robbed. You know, they got robbed because it takes away from the sport. You know, if we could have had the decision, if the decision went our way tonight, I think it wouldn't have done anything about Ricky's career. I think if anything, Ricky is a great champion. He would have come back, had a rematch in the United States. I mean, this you know, this fight between the two of them, this new ground for them would have continued. You know, we would have had a rematch in the United States, and everything would have been fine. I have no idea why it happened, but it clearly was. It was, you know, it was a victory that everyone in Scotland, anyone watching this around the world, including everyone that was in there tonight, 6,000 fans, you know, they were at the score table tonight. They were at the judges' table tonight, and they said, you know, that Ray won.
As regards to a rematch, can I just tell you some comments that Ricky Burns' promoter, Eddie Hearn, said, as in reference to the rematch. When he was asked about it in the press conference, he said that is not an option and that wouldn't happen for it to be in America because there's no interest in America for this fight. So if it was to happen, then more suitable, in Eddie Hearn's opinion, would for it to be back in Scotland. So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I don't blame Eddie, you know, for taking that stance. I mean, he's Ricky's promoter. He's going to do what he's got to do to protect his fighter and, you know, put him in the best scenario. I don't blame him, but I wouldn't. I just couldn't, you know, because there's no insurance. There's nothing that you can tell me. If someone could say, listen, I guarantee you that we're not going to have any judges that night, all right? We're going to have 6,000 people here. And at the end, they're all going to get a piece of paper, and they're going to write either Ray down or Ricky down, and they're going to count it up, and at the end of the day, that's who wins. If you told me that, I'd come back to Scotland, you know. If you told me the fans would make the decision at the end of the night, you got it. That's the rematch, you know. Unfortunately, that's not the way it's going to work. And I have to be the one who convinces the fighter to get back on the plane and come back over here. First, he's got to go back to camp, all right? He's got to have his plan. He has a family. He's got, you know, he's got a wife and kids to take care of. So it's not just about his career anymore. It's a big financial decision, you know, and you know, we wouldn't consider it unless it was financially rewarding. I don't really understand. I mean, I get it why Eddie wouldn't want to subject, you know, Ricky to coming over there, but whether he fights Ray or not, I think coming to the United States would be a great move for Ricky, and I think the fans would love him. And there's nothing to not like about Ricky. And whether he fights Ray or Vasquez or Crawford, I mean, he's not going to fight Crawford in Scotland. You know, he's going to come to the United States and fight him, or you know, in Madison Square Garden probably. And as well he should. You know, I mean, I think he'd be, if Ricky wins that fight, he'll be on the map. You know, I mean, but again, I'm not his promoter or his manager. I mean, I think they've done a great job with him. You know, he's got a great career. I just think he certainly would blow up. I mean, as a more of a household name if he was in the United States fighting a fight. You know.
So, if there isn't the option of a rematch, so for example, let's say there's not, then what next for Ray Beltran if that isn't there for him, a rematch with Ricky Burns?
Well, I mean, you know, that comes down to Top Rank, his promoter. That comes down to Bob Arum and what Bob, you know, sees as a possibility for him. You know, Brad Goodman, Bruce Trampler, all the people that make up the company. You know, we'll have to sit down and, you know, I hope that, you know, they saw that, look, at the end of the day, let's just assume that the decision tonight was fair. Okay, let's just say that it was, all right? Ray came to Scotland. He flew over here. He fought a very, very game champion who's defended his title many times, and he fought him to a draw. So if there was nothing else that we had to consider tonight, I would have said, I'm proud of you, Ray. You know, you came here, you flew over to Scotland, you fought a world champion, and you got him to a draw. Now, on any other night, you know, sometimes you can live with that, but you can't live with it when you saw the fight we saw tonight. That's what makes it difficult. It's not the decision, you know. It's not. You know, you have a decision, a split decision. You could have went any other way. It was the fight that we saw tonight. We all know what we saw tonight. We saw Ray Beltran, you know, fight like a world champion, and he should have the belt right now. And I think Ricky Burns knows that. I think, you know, Billy Nelson knows that, and that's why I have a lot of respect for them. I mean, I will forever remember what happened in the ring tonight. Not during the fight. I will remember what happened after the fight. I mean, whether anyone repeats themselves to the press is a whole different thing. But what I heard in the ring tonight, that at least was some type of, that was solace to me in a way that I can at least turn around and say, okay, the guys that really matter, you know, the fighters and the corners and the supporters and the trainers, we all knew what we saw tonight, and everyone went to the ring and admitted it, you know. And whether or not that will ever get out to the world and anyone will ever repeat what happened tonight, you know, that doesn't matter, because I heard it. I heard what Ricky Burns said to me. I heard what Ricky Burns said to Ray. I heard what Billy Nelson said to me. I heard what Eddie said to me, what John said to me, and that's what I'll remember. And that's all I can take. I can't take anything away with me. He didn't win the fight on, you know, on paper. So, you know.
All right, just finally, after the bell went for the 12th round, that time in between that and Michael Buffer announcing the decision, what did you actually think? Did you think that?
So we had it.
You thought you were going to get it. Did you thought you had it, but did you think you were going to get it?
You know, I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, I did. I was stunned that the result came out the way I thought. You know, I thought maybe it would have been a split or something. I mean, I knew it would be really close. I didn't think we, you know, I didn't think we were like dominated. You know, 2 or 3 rounds. I just thought it would be close. I thought it may be a point, possibly 2, only because of the knockdown. I thought that was going to be, you know, if we evened out everything, I thought the knockdown would have been the decisive thing. But I told the corner, you know, going into the 11th round, I told the corner we need, I think it was the 10th, I might have been after the 9th, I said, you know, we need him. You know, we need the 10th, and we're going to need and then I said going to the 11th, I think, remember one of those rounds, you know, a couple of rounds I jumped in, you know, in the corner as well, and I just said, you know, we got to get it, we got to get it, we got to get it. And he went out and dominated the 11th round. And then maybe he took his foot off the pedal a little bit going into the 12th, and, you know, sometimes that could dictate things with a judge, you know, that says, well, who wants it? You know, who wants it the most? Or, you know, how much does he want to grab it? You know, but if you even that round out, you still have the knockdown, you know. And so I don't think necessarily that we won the 12th round. I feel like we won the 10th and 11th. And, you know, maybe we evened out the 12th. An even round is Ricky's, you know. So I'm not, you know, I can't sit there scoring. I just know that when I went, after we finished, I told the corner we got it. You know, I told the corner, I said, you guys did an awesome. I told Ray, I said, Ray, you did everything we could have asked for you tonight. And I said, you know, no matter what they say, you're the world champion. You know, and I feel that way. I mean, I don't think I have to convince anybody of that. And that's what the thing that feels really good about that is that I don't have to have that conversation. I don't have to walk through the fight with anybody, you know, and try to explain myself. everybody saw what we saw tonight. And again, you know, I want to just say that, you know, we really don't hold Scotland or the UK or the promoters accountable for this, what happened tonight. You know, when I say it would be difficult to come back, I mean, I have other fighters. You know, I wouldn't, it's not like I'm thinking I would never come back to the UK or Scotland with any of my fighters. I just feel it would be tough to convince Ray to do that. And I totally understand that. And it would take some convincing. But I just want to make sure that everyone knows that, you know, we thought we were really treated well here. And it's a great country, great people, tremendous support. I mean, it was wonderful. You know, as we were leaving the stadium tonight, I mean, the same guys that were screaming at us when we were, you know, ready to walk out tonight, they were like yelling Ricky's name and a couple of other things. I don't know, just you let us curse on the show or what?
Whatever you want.
You know, I mean, it's like, you know, hey, you know, fuck this or fuck that, or, you know, Ricky Burns, and, you know, hey, Ricky, you know, and then we get all this stuff, and then on the way out, all we have is guys reaching across the, you know, to slap us and say great job and everything. I mean, that's why these guys are such great fans, you know. I mean, they're not above turning it around, you know. Listen, I just want to, so I get a lot of money when it goes into overtime, okay? And so if I stay here for like 10 more minutes, you have to, like, you have any cash on me? I get like $5 a minute after this.
That's a pound. Actually, I need that for the car park.
Yeah.
By the way, we don't rob banks.
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah. You
Steve,
just rob guys like me, right?
we don't. Listen, pleasure to
so-
talk to you, Steve.
All
Pleasure
right,
to meet you.
thanks for having
Pleasure
me.
to meet Ray yesterday as
Yeah,
well. So thanks for your time.
Thanks for the interview the other day.
No
Appreciate it.
problem. And listen, if our paths cross again, so be it.
Yeah,
But
let's take a break for a while, right? You and me, all right?
I'll see you at the hotel. What are you going on about?
All right.
KUGAN CASSIUS.
You buying?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Sounds
Put
good.
it on
You
Ma-
heard him. All right.
KUGAN CASSIUS, Steve FEDER for iFilm London. Thank you very much.